You asked for a quiz today. Why would you do that? She's on it. She loved it. She loved it. Just get her talking, keep her distracted. Yeah, let's not talk about it. Don't bring it up. Anything that starts with a Q, bypass that one, start with another one.
Ask her about the presentation.
Oh, yeah, we heard her. Yep.
Good morning, pharmacy.
Good morning.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
It's Friday. I was just here a couple hours ago. Okay, let's finish up the remainder of the problems. Then we go over the other packet. Let me check. I left my laptop. I purposefully left it on the dining table because I said, oh, you know what? We're going to be busy today. Forgot about you, spoiled brats. That you want for recording. Did you get them last night? Did it help? Oh. Wow, I sent it late while I was here. You still watched it.
Yeah, I had one.
Okay. So, we'll continue. We're on number 30. I'll do 37 again. If we end on a 1:3 ratio. Yeah. 37, 38, 39, and 40. Then we have one more packet, but that will be quick. So do you remember what I said on 36? The reason I said, oh, there's no math in here is because I know that a quarter normal saline is 0.225%. So that's just in my head right off the bat. Okay? So if I'm asked of the ratio, that means there's one of the drug or the salt in this case, and 3 parts water. That makes a 4. Okay? But for you guys, a simple way of doing it is dimensional analysis was how Roxy did it. Yeah, I mean dimensional analysis. I'm sorry, I'm still asleep. Alligation, or the tic-tac-toe method, is how Roxy did it. Or you can simply, like I said, divide 0.9 by 4. You got to understand that it's not 1:4, because the question was salt to water ratio. It's not salt to solution ratio. If the question was salt to solution ratio, it's 1:4. If the question was salt to water ratio, it's 1:3. That's why I said you've got to know your terminology such as solute, solvent, solution, diluent. Okay. One thing, when we were doing tutoring yesterday, there's one issue that, not really a big issue, but if you're going to go technical, that Jonathan raised, number 37. Okay. Try to change the NS to NaCl. Okay, because for the overthinkers, what they're going to do is to multiply 0.9 by 0.9 again. Which technically is correct, because I've been harping on normal saline is 0.9. So take out, it's either you take out the 0.9 NS and make it just NS. You see that? Take out the 0.9. Or if you want 0.9%, but it has to be sodium chloride. You You forgot your calculator.
No.
I thought you forgot your calculator. Okay. Did you see that? That was a little bit of an adjustment on that part. I'm gonna do number 37. Those who attended tutoring, how is it?
We good now?
Yeah?
Yeah.
Because I can do one more tutoring today. Monday is finals. I programmed myself yesterday to, there's going to be tutoring today, just in case. Yeah? You staying? Because I'm out of here if you're not staying. And we're gonna be here in this classroom. Don't have to move. Okay. Number 37. What volume of 23% sodium chloride solution is necessary to make 1 liter NS? That was a problem then, so I'm not confused. I'm going to write 0.9% sodium chloride here. A couple of things that I can give you as a tip, which I did yesterday during tutoring. When you see the word from, the words from, stock solution, that's the original bottle. Okay? So when we're talking dilution, that means that's the higher concentration. Can you follow? Okay? Remember, dilution formula is C1V1 equals C2V2. Right? And dilution means making a higher concentration into a lower concentration. You're making the drug or the substance weak. Because it's either pure, like 100%, to an 80% or a 75, or it can be an 80 to a 40. From a higher concentration to a lower concentration. So when you see the words from, stock solution, stock bottle, and it's a concentration or a strength, that's your C1. And this is higher. That's your from. You following? When you see the words to make, to prepare, that is your C2 and your V2. When it's strength, it's C2. And C2 is lower than your C1 because it's a dilution problem. Correct? But you will notice that your V1 will be less than your V2. Right? Because here you add more water, like you said, on this side. You follow? Okay. If my students are struggling, I'm also struggling to find ways to help you. Okay. Not really struggling, but it doesn't mean sleep. And you already know that I don't sleep very much. Okay? So I'm trying to find ways because yesterday, out of, how many were you? 4?
3.
5. It was 5 of you. There's still one who's like, I'm totally lost. And half of you are like, okay, now I understand, now I get it. Sometimes you don't get it right away. You have to go home, sit by yourself, and then stare at it, understand it. But what I realized yesterday during that tutoring was, if it's a comprehension problem, I cannot help you. It's just it. I gotta throw in the towel. Why? Comprehension is on you. If you didn't understand the word problem, you cannot solve the problem. And remember, I told you, PTCE, ExCPT, any exam, major exams, 90% of the time it's a test of comprehension more than your math skills. That's why I said, there's so many numbers into play, right? But answer the question. Yesterday, both of you were just labeling it like whatever you want. Like you're labeling a supposedly C1 as a C2, okay? I'm analyzing this like I'm diagnosing the problem, okay? It's not like to embarrass you or whatnot. We're trying to figure out what's going on here so that moving forward it doesn't happen, okay? So yesterday what you were doing, you two, both of you, were just like labeling it however you want because that's the first thing that you saw, okay? That's why I said this will help you a lot, okay? But again, if you still didn't understand, how can you solve the problem if you didn't understand? Right? So these are your quote unquote, what I say, your magic words or your hint words. Okay. When you see the word from and stock solution, stock bottle, it is your C1 and your B1. And because it's dilution, your C1 is stronger, higher strength, higher percentage. Okay? And then your 2 is what you're going to make. Based on this formula, that will be your C2. And if you compare C1 versus C2, C2 will be less concentrated, so lower percentage. And your V2, because now you had more, because you added water, like you said, is going to be higher. You see that? First thing is, you lay down all these numbers. You write them down, all your variables. Figure out what you don't need. How do you know that? While labeling it. Okay? So go back to the problem. With what volume? Oh, by the way, before I continue, there's one that helped Mark yesterday. So, in my physical chemistry class, we had, or whatever chemistry classes I took, you know those big brown bottles, big amber bottles? They look like big vials. Okay. Those are called reagent bottles. Those are considered stock bottles. Okay. When we're talking your prescription bottles, those bottles are called stock bottles because they are 500 tablet bottles. And you have to repackage it to 30, 60, right? 90, whatever the prescription says. So they are considered stock bottles. But here we're talking about liquid substances, right? So this reagent bottles will say what strength they are in. Say, for example, 40% of this one. Okay. And then another reagent bottle will say 10% of this one. But what alligation is, it's actually asking you usually to make the middle concentration, which is 25%. This is your to make. Follow? And that is your prescription. Now the question is, how much of this do you need and how much of this do you need to make this? Sometimes this is given, like to make a total of 1,000 ml. Now you can figure this out. Sometimes this is given, and you can solve that easily if this is given by using the tic-tac-toe method. Okay, that's alligation. I can't explain it simpler than this because I want you to visualize and picture it. Okay? So after doing this, and you still don't understand, it is now a comprehension issue. Okay? So maybe you just have to read a problem 10 times. And that's okay. You can't compare yourself to others. If you don't understand it the first time you read it, what's the problem? It's not going to go away and disappear after you read it the first time. Read it over and over and over until you get it. Okay? A lot of you, you're just in a hurry. Okay. With the dilution, you only need one. Yeah? Say, for example, 40 to a 10. Because the other variable is water, which is 0%. That's why in a dilution problem, you heard me say this over and over. if I'm not required to do the alligation method or the tic-tac-toe method, and I see that there's only one strength in there and my other variable is water, I use this real fast. I use this. I don't sweat the tic-tac-toe. But no one's stopping you from using the tic-tac-toe. Just remember that your lower concentration is 0. You love doing that. Okay? Because you can use tic-tac-toe for dilution. Okay? You cannot use this, though, for 3 concentrations. You have to use the tic-tac-toe or the alligation method for this particular problem. Is that clear? I hope it is. Clear? How many staying for tutoring today? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Almost half. Okay, let's do this. Of the time, you just need more time. Seriously. When a student fails this class, students fail this class, not that I want you to fail, when they retake it the next time around, they're like, oh my God. So that's when I figured they just really need more time. Because it doesn't click right away. Okay? The reason I want you to master this, especially the percentage part, you've seen how the exit went. 6 of you. You see how percentage questions are kind of concealed, kind of disguised. It doesn't seem like a percentage question, but it is. Based on my experience, there's a lot that comes up like that on the PTCE, based on students' experience, past graduates' experience. Okay? So I want you to master percentage. Okay? And if you're only now understanding fractions and decimals, you got a problem. Because when you walk in these doors, remember when I interviewed you? Okay. I ask you, how good are you in math? Because if it's fractions, percentage, and decimals, it's your problem. From the beginning, you better knock it down. Back at career prep, not here. Okay? But I'm trying to help you, so I'm sometimes going back to that. Okay? Let's solve number 37, sorry. So now is the labeling part. Okay. I saw that to make, but are there 3 percentages? No, there's just 2. So you think I can use the C1, V1, C2, V2? I could, okay? So I got a label now. I saw the words to make. So I have to label this V2 real fast, right? And this one, C2. You see how every time I teach this class, it becomes a little bit different because it depends on the group of students I have. If you watch the video from a long time ago, it's a little bit different than today. Because it's not clicking the same way as it clicked before. Okay? C2 and V2. So what do you think this one is?
That is E1.
We'll use the formula now. C1, V1 equals C2, V2. I hope you know that this means when they're next to each other is multiplication. Okay? So C1 is 23%. V1 is going to be your XML equals C2 is going to be 0.9% and your V2 is going to be, I have to convert this to 1,000 ml. You know why? Because we always use ml for volume when it comes to percentage. Okay? And it always has to be apples to apples. 1,000 ml. Once you're faced with this equation, do you know what to do? But before I do that, I go back, I check. What was the question again? What volume of the 23%? So I'm right. I'm being asked of my V1. You see that? The reason why you're getting it wrong is because you're just labeling it however you want. You're not understanding the problem. So this words should be your guide. What's the answer? It's not difficult. Correct? It isn't. Now it says, Stefan, step back.
So I think the one thing that I caught that where I was making a mistake was I was dividing my 23, I was making it into a decimal. Because 23.
It doesn't matter. You make this 0.23, you make this, you have to make everything decimal. But you have to make this decimal too. You have to make this decimal. You have to make this decimal. It has to be same units. It doesn't matter. You can convert it to 0.23. But you have to convert this to 0.009. You have to convert this to 0.23, 0.23. It doesn't matter. You want me to show you tic-tac-toe of this particular problem? Yes? Like, no. Because this already clicked. This clicked?
Yeah. I got that.
It clicked better, but I still just like tic-tac-toe. I feel like it's just easier for me.
Okay, so those who don't like that, cover your ears, okay? I'm still gonna do tic-tac-toe. But I'm telling you how I take the test, right? When I see it's 2 strands, I use this formula, unless specified. But your final exam sometimes will say tic-tac-toe method, or the alligation method. Here we go. Alligation method, no problem. What's my higher strand? 23%. What am I looking for? What is my to make? What goes here? Why? Crisscross applesauce? Crisscross applesauce?
22.1.
This is when Miss L does this. I told you I just started doing this probably 2 years ago. And then I bring this so you guys don't get lost. Right? Too many parts. Do I have another variable? I should have at least one more variable. Where does that go? At the bottom. That's why I brought it down, so it's not placed anywhere else. Okay? What do I put here?
1,000 milliliters.
Okay. This is when I tweak it. Ratio and proportion, because that's how you understood it. Okay? Well, we do it fraction way back in pharmacy school. And I realized it's so difficult for students. So I just been like, okay, how do I have that? I'll change it a little bit. Okay, so you have a complete variable in there, a complete equation right in there. I'm sorry, 23 parts. Is 1,000 ml. Which one should I calculate? This part. Because this is my x at this point. Is it the question to make? Okay, so it's my equation on this other side.
0.9 over.
0.9 parts is to, what happens next? Divide by 23, what's your x?
39.
Isn't it the same exact answer? Yeah, okay. So let's put 39.1 ml here. Sometimes the problem doesn't end there, right? But I'm just saying, well, since the question is how much 23% sodium chloride do you need, this should be your final answer. But what if there's a follow-up question and it asks you how much of the water, which is your diluent, was added? And you can simply subtract 39.1 from 1,000 ml. And what is that?
960.
What is it? 960.9. 960.9. Now, how'd you check? Add this to. Did you come up with 1,000? Last night we were doing AWP and UNC. The ones you did. Now I gotta download this and upload because I forgot my laptop.
I did forget. I just thought,
Clear? Who likes C1 V1 equals C2 V2? Who likes tic-tac-toe? I'm not asking you to change anything. It's just that if it's said on your test, use the alligation method, you should show your tic-tac-toe. Okay? Can somebody erase the board, please, so we can move on? Thank you. I chugged Benadryl last night. It's so itchy. Because it's morning, tutoring, and night of dust.
Well, the weekend's almost here, so.
I know. On a weekend, I look like a zombie on my bed, just like this. The whole day, Saturday. And my son said, Mom, this is just the second time I saw you come out of your room. I said, because I need. Remember, there's a bathroom in my bedroom. So I really don't have to go out. Yeah. And then Sunday, I'm energized again. Okay, going to do the next one? I want a student to do the next one. 38. Who got 39.1? Hands up. Before I did it. Wow. Somebody's so proud. Like, she really wants to stand up from her seat. Like, look at me, Miss Al! I did! Okay, 38. Number 38, a medication order calls for 1,000 ml off. Remember, off, Roxy said 0.2%. I mean, multiplication, 0.2% solution. Okay. The stock solution, there's a word. Stock solution. Okay, is 1 gram per ml. The question was, what amount of the stock solution will you need? If I'm to use C1V1 equals C2V2, let's identify. Label. Mark. There's a couple of ways to solve this problem. Okay, I see a fraction, I can convert that to percentage right away. One way. Okay. Label, because you guys were confused at labeling.
I'm confused again.
I just used the word stock solution right there. What did I say?
So would that be V1?
It's C1. Grams per ml is a concentration because I can convert this to a percentage. Remember, your percentage is weight over weight, volume over volume, or weight over volume.
Okay.
So what is this?
C1.
C1. What am I looking for?
B1?
Does this satisfy as your C2? I'm sorry. Thank you, Roxy, for waking me up. Where's my C2 now?
1,000 milliliters?
C!
Oh, that's your.
What's my V? 2. You cannot just flip-flop. The answer will be different. Cannot. That's why I gave you those words as a tip, as a hint. Okay? What did I say? I can convert this to percentage. Because this is in percentage. That's one way of doing it. It's my stock solution. This is going to be 100%. Did I tell you your foundation is percentage? Weight over weight, volume over volume, or weight over volume. But this is the most common one. How do you convert your 1 gram to ml to percentage? Multiply that by 100. That's my C2. That's my V2. Labeling this part is not just a game, huh? It's not a guessing game. There's a specific item. There's a specific tag for each one. That's why I gave you those words. Okay? From. That's your stock solution. That's your original strength, which is usually higher. It should be higher, not usually, which should be higher when we're talking about usually. What's the answer here?
2 milliliters.
Can I do tic-tac-toe on this one?
Oi!
Yeah.
Can I do tic-tac-toe on this one?
Yeah.
Why not? Coconut? What's my higher strength?
High strength is like 100%.
What's my lower strength? What's it in there?
0.0.
Crisscross. Do I still have another variable? Do I have another variable?
Yeah.
What is it?
1,000 milliliters.
Where do I put that?
We put that in the next to the 1,000 part.
Good job. You're getting it now.
100 part, I'm sorry.
Okay, can you do ratio portion now?
Yeah.
Okay. If 0.2% is for 100 parts, it doesn't matter. 100 parts is 0.2%. Which one am I solving?
Is it the 100 parts is 100 milliliters? For the ratio proportion?
What am I solving? I'm trying to make a point here. problem again.
Instead of the percentage on the top, it should be the parts over.
Okay, let's do that. What do you want me to do here?
The parts over 1,000.
100 parts is to 1,000 ml. My proportion.
Then 0.2 parts.
0.2 parts. Is to
X ml.
This is correct. Why is this equation correct? Because you're right here. And you converted this to 100%. You can flip flop this, it will come up with the same answer. 100 parts, 1,000 ml, as long as you flip flop this side too. The X will be on top. And that's what we were talking about yesterday. What's the answer here? Exactly the same. Did you see? Yes? Erase the board, please. What's the next one? Allegation still? 39. Okay, so 37, 38, 39, 40 are allegation questions or dilution. This one, the word should be added, which means they separate the diluent from the solution here. Okay, thanks, Roxy. Number 39. How many by the way, your math grades are updated than last night. Doesn't seem so bad. Okay, how many milliliters of a 20% solution should be added to 50 ml of a 40% solution to make a 25% solution? Right off the bat, what do you think I'll use if I'm taking the test? Tic-tac-toe, correct. Because I got 3 concentrations right away. Okay. But I have to figure out the to make. You see that? I have to figure out the to make. What goes on top? Quiet, I'm going to test this too. Mark, what goes at the bottom?
20%?
Geo, what goes at the middle?
25.
Valentina, what's next?
Just subtract the 25 from 40.
What is that?
15
And what do I put here?
parts.
Karen, next one. Next step.
5 parts on the top.
Very good. Mathea, next part.
In the equation, just give you 5 parts on, oh sorry, I'm gonna add to the total 20 parts.
Next, back to you, Mark.
Well, when I did it, I put it at 50 milliliters to 40%.
Good job. Right here. this down first so I can identify which is which. Okay? Remember, this is what I changed a little bit. So you have an entire row and you just look at it. Oh, that's for the 40. Oh, that's for the 20. And oh, that's for the 25. Okay? We have a working equation now?
Yes.
Yes, now?
Yes.
Okay. Continue. Gio, what's next?
I'm right now making the proportion
Okay.
for it's gonna be 5 parts over 50 milliliters is equivalent to, and then I'm using the 20%, so 50 parts over X milliliters.
50?
I mean 15, sorry. I'm sorry.
15.
Yeah, over X milliliters.
I'll pause here because I want to make sure that I'm calculating what's being asked of me. I'll read the problem again. How many milliliters of a 20%? Right? I just double checked.
Yeah.
Okay? Should be added. Continue, Mark.
From here, oh wait, I can't see the equation. Do you want me to solve the equation or? It's 150.
Where does the 150 go?
At the 50 parts.
150 what?
Milliliters.
So if I'm going to plug it in here, where does the 150 go?
Right, or it's equal to 50 parts.
Very good. So if I ask you, what's the total volume of the solution? It's simply adding this. Did you see how this is working now?
Yeah.
That's why I like doing this now. I can see that it's for the 40. I can see that it's for the 20. I can see that this is for the 25. Because if I leave that here, it's confusing. I just bring it down. Okay? Then it tells me right away. But the first step is to identify what's what. I still write to this day, 25 years later, the words to make, because that means that's my prescription. I still write the word stock solution. That means that's my C1. 25 years, still do it. Well, plus pharmacy school, almost 30 years. Sorry. 25 years in practice. You see, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
One more, last one. What do you think Allie is on number 40?
C1, B1, C2, B2.
And look at Gina when I ask if she likes tic-tac-toe. Okay, that's fine. Okay. Well, if I'm taking a test and it's time limited, I'm gonna use C1, B1, C2. Who's gonna use C1, B1 equals C2, B2 on this problem? Who's gonna use tic-tac-toe on this problem? That's fine. Totally fine. Okay? That's why I keep showing you both. Just do it. This is the last. And you can breathe a little before the next discussion. Number 20, how much 45% solution can be made from? How much? Right? How much? From 75%, 300. Now I can use my C1, B1 equals C2, B2. This is ugly. I'm going to put it closer. What's my C1? What's my B1?
800 milliliters.
What's my C2? my V2? Very good. Plug in the equation, 75 times, I'm sorry, why do I keep writing V2? 75 times 300 equals 45 times X. The answer is 500. Those who like tic-tac-toe, here we go. What do I put on top? Valentina, what do I put at the bottom?
Zero?
Very good. Karen, what do I put in the middle?
45.
Very good. Ashley, what's next?
To do the crisscross, so the bottom one is
This one first.
60?
75 and 45.
45. I misread that. 30.
You need new glasses.
No, I just don't close my 4s.
Okay. Mark, see? I got a problem with my 4 too for Ashley.
I thought that was a really weird one for
Okay, 45 and 0. Back to you, Karen.
45.
What? Next up, Valentina. Yes, freshman, you're my favorite today.
Add the 45 parts and the 30 parts to get 75 parts.
Very good. Mark, back to you. What's next?
Drop the 45% down to 75 parts.
What's next? Gio.
So right now we're just gonna put the 300 milliliters
Where?
up at like 75% next to the 45 parts.
Now we're talking in order to put those numbers. You're just not guessing anymore.
Yeah.
Yesterday, like, what did that happen? See, this is the key. And this words. Continue, back to you, Mark. What do I do next? Do I have a working equation?
Yes, 45 over 300, or 45 parts over 300 milliliters,
Okay.
and then times,
Times?
or,
Are you doing ratio proportion or?
yeah, 75 parts?
Equals. Equals?
Equals 75 parts to X.
Because there's a big difference if I put this times. You know that, right? Okay. And then,
X.
what's my X now?
500. 500 milliliters, I say.
Okay, 500. Exactly the same as this one. That's why I don't stop you from doing it. Okay? So let's put that here. Correct? This is our final answer because that's the question. However, if there was a follow-up question, how much of the water do you need?
200 milliliters.
How'd you do that?
Subtracting the 500 from the.
There you go. And then double check. Did it come up total? 500? You still need tutoring?
I feel like like I'm just gonna state just in case, but like I feel like I'm good. Yeah.
Okay, what have you learned then, Mark, from this process?
Well, I thought I messed it up in this story. I thought the 300 milliliters was supposed to go with the 75 parts. So now I know you match it with the percent from the original question instead.
You go back to the question and read it. Even I paused, did you see? And then I find my paper to make sure I'm plugging in the right numbers. What was your lesson here?
Just to slow down, because that's something that he told me a while ago. Is like, because like he knows that my mind sometimes has a tendency to just like look at
And there's so many numbers.
And so it's like, so what happens is what he does. Every time he like starts like freaking out, puts everything down, just and then catch yourself, look at it again, and then
Yeah.
slow down.
That's why you organize it. Okay? Labeling is organizing. Me starting doing the rectangles or the boxes started working. You okay? Yeah? You understand? Okay. Valentina?
It's starting to,
I sent you videos last night at about 8 o'clock. To those who attended tutoring, you should have watched those. Did you? You should have. That's the class the last 2 days. Yeah.
The one where, for me, I started reading and cutting it is from the of or from that's when you started to explain that to me, that's when it really good.
Because I realized they're just labeling it however they want to label it yesterday during tutoring. So I said, I gotta find ways to help them, the magic words. But if it's a total, or like you don't understand, which is a bigger problem because we speak English, unless you want me to start teaching in Spanish or Filipino. They're like, nah. Okay, which leads me to when you're to take the PTCE, one of my Spanish speaker students, graduates, she said, Ms. L, there's an option in there. It asks you if you want to take the test in Spanish. Even if your first language is Spanish, let me tell you this, don't. And she said, don't, Miss L, don't let that. Why? How did you learn these lessons?
In English.
In English. And Spanish can be a little bit different depending on which country. We don't know who translated that Spanish, like our Spanish is Castellan. The 9 students, all of them speak Spanish.
Castellano.
No, one's from Bolivia, so he speaks Castellan. The other one's from Mexico, heritage, and she speaks Mexican Spanish. And then it's like, what all of them do. Still, I'm not teaching in Spanish. English is the medium of instruction here. Okay, so it's a problem. Better? Understanding it better. Ashley? Let's pause here. Did you finish doing the other packet, the bio? Or reading, or studying? I like this one more. You know why I like this packet? Because it's testing whether you're understanding the problem. Comprehension, again. Because some answers don't have to be calculated. Every time you see numbers, the first thing that comes to mind is, I'm going to calculate. Right?
Yeah.
Thank you. But you don't. Alright? Allegations, practice problems. A prescription is brought in for 300 grams of 5% coal tar ointment. The pharmacy in stock, 3% coal tar ointment and coal tar. First question right there. What is the total desired quantity of the new product? You need to calculate?
No.
Not at all. It's in the problem. And the answer is 300 grams of 5% coal tar. Correct. Next one. What strengths of coal tar does the pharmacy have in stock? Do you need to calculate?
No.
Not at all, again. And what is the answer?
3%, 100%.
3% and 100%. Why 100%? It's not in the problem.
Cold hard. It's just
Very good. Coal tar is pure coal tar. So pure is 100%. What is the desired strength of the requested new preparation? Do you have to calculate? Not at all. First 3 questions, no calculations needed. It's a question of comprehension. Did you understand the problem? That's what it is. That's why I love questions like this, because this is very common on board exams. Okay. Practice problem number 2. The pharmacy receives an order of 76% IPA, 1 liter. In stock, the pharmacy has 91% isopropyl alcohol. Did I give you the ones with answer? The packet with answer? Okay. Some of them have answers. Okay. In stock, the pharmacy has 91% isopropyl alcohol, 70% isopropyl alcohol, 50% isopropyl alcohol, and distilled water. What is the desired strength of the new product? What is the desired strength of the new product? 76%. Did you have to calculate? No. What strengths of isopropyl alcohol does the pharmacy have in stock? 50, 70, and 91. Did you have to calculate? Not at all. Okay. Our brain tells us right away once we see numbers, you gotta calculate. No. Sometimes you just have to read and understand. Right? Our brain can be tricky. Our brain got monkeys inside. You know that? You gotta kill those monkeys sometimes. Or you're gonna stop them from telling you certain things. Okay? What is the desired quantity of the requested new preparation? Where did that come from? From the prescription itself. Okay. The pharmacy receives an order of 76% isopropyl alcohol, 1 liter. Problem number 3. A prescription of ammoniated mercury ointment, 7%, 450 grams, with a signa of apply UD, BID, is received at your pharmacy. The pharmacy only has 3% and 10% ammoniated mercury available. Using Alligation, calculate an amount of each available product needed to prepare this prescription. Do you need to calculate?
Yes.
This time, yes. What's the answer? A, B, C, or D?
C.
Very good. C. It's 257.14 grams of 10% and 192.86 grams of 3%. They do exactly what we've been doing. Tic-tac-toe. Okay. Next one, practice problem number 4. A pharmacy receives a prescription of coal tar 4.5% gel, 2 ounces. The signa reads, apply to nose, UD, for seborrheic dermatitis. In stock, the pharmacy has coal tar and clear gel base. How many grams of each are needed to prepare this prescription? Answer?
D.
Who got D? Hands up. Very good. 2.7 grams of coal tar and 57.3 grams of clear gel base. Which one is 100%? What is clear gel base?
Water.
0%. Good job. Number 5. There's a prescription on 5. Pharmacy has 1 liter bag of D5W and 500 ml of 23.4 concentrated sodium chloride. How many milliliters of each are needed to prepare this order? What are you going to use to solve this problem? Tic-tac-toe, alligation. The answer is? A, B, C, D.
There's no ABC.
Oh, why is there an A, B, C, D for me?
But the answer is the 23.4% is 500 ml. The 16% is the 1,063.64 ml, and then the 5% would be 336.36 ml.
Did you have the same answer?
I got 500 ml of 23.1%.
I'm looking at the wrong one.
Sodium chloride.
Okay.
And then 231.25 ml of water.
What?
I did not get any of
For what?
Remember, there's a D5. Are we on that problem? Problem
Yeah,
5?
I got, because because 23.4 had 11 parts and 5% had 7 parts, I think 500 was like the most you could get. You can go higher than that, so I put 500 for 23.4. Percent, 100 milliliters, I put 5% for, 5% was, what was that? 500% was, 16% was 836.36, and 5% was 336.36 million.
Yeah, that's what the 5% comes from the problem, the dextrose 5%.
How much is the 5%? You didn't have an option?
No,
What's the 5% dextrose? How much?
It just says 1 liter bag of 5% dextrose.
No, what's your answer?
Oh.
Did you hear that? 316.2 for the dextrose 5%. And what sodium chloride? Good job. Show it on the board. Because this one's a combination, huh? Sodium chloride and dextrose 5%. Good job, David. Your final exam on Monday is all multiple choice. Wow. 36 questions. Wow, you got 25% chance of passing each question. Unless you eliminate the correct answer, there goes your 25% chance. Goes out the door. Yeah. I want to touch on some items that are basic math that you might have forgotten that will show up on the finals after this. Explain me. This is exactly how I do this problem.
Higher concentration is 23.4%, so it's at the top. And they're looking for 16% sodium chloride, so that's in the middle. And I think I put 0% because the rest is. I don't know, I think I just put 0%.
Because that's the water part.
Yeah, the water. And then,
Of the IV
you
bag.
do the crisscross subtract, so 16 parts for the 23.4% or the concentrated sodium chloride, and then 7.4 parts for the water, and then on the side,
The 5% is throwing you off, okay? But that's pre-calculated already, so you can put a 0 in there, though it's 5% dextrose. Okay, the solute has been pre-calculated already, okay?
and then once you add that, it's 23.4 parts, and if you're looking for the 23.4% concentrated sodium chloride, you do 16 parts divided by 23.4. So this is the total, and then this is the 23.4%. And then I multiplied it by 1,000 milliliters to get the milliliters. And then I did the same thing for D5W.
So in her head, which I do the same thing, I put a 0% in there because a 5% doesn't matter. That's a solution. That's going to be part of the basis. Now, it's been pre-calculated already that there's 5 grams of dextrose for every 100 ml. It's just there to throw you off. Okay, that's the parts. That's the correct answer. Exactly how I do it. It's a little bit confusing because of the 5%. Okay. I want to go over some items on the final exam.